Hello everyone and thanks for stopping by my channel. I am Serge T. And in the last video, well my first video back, I mentioned or forgot to mention two major things that happened this past week. Number one, Damian Priest finally cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase. And then finally the arrival of Tama Tonga, who is now a part of the Bloodline. Those are two things I'm going to touch on in this video. But let's talk about Damian Priest cashing in finally. Senor Money in the Bank. Right? Many people were saying, when is he gonna cash in? Remember the handful of times that he tried and it was always the same thing? Someone would, take the briefcase from him and knock him in the head with it, and then that's it. That's done. And then it was being done like how many times, right? How many times was that going to happen? And then you get to the point where you're going to be tired of it. A lot of people were saying that he was going to just end up being another failed cash-in. Now, boy, were we all proven wrong. I mean, I wasn't on that bandwagon. I had a feeling that he may cash in successfully, but who knows? Damian Priest isn't somebody who you put on the radar of someone who'll be a world champion. He has everything going for him. He's got the look, the physique, he's got the skill set. He can talk on the mic, and he's got a presence that's just undeniable, right? But people like him at times don't ascend to the world title, picture. They don't just ascend to that height. They don't. They could be a great contender. They can make a champion look good. But there's always something there about him. And even though he's like the pseudo leader of Judgment Day, even though they all have claimed that there's no leader, we're all equal. But Damian Priest has really taken it upon himself to be a leader, even though at times, Rhea Ripley, at times is the one that takes it upon herself to be the appointed leader. She takes responsibility to book them matches, get this for them, go to Adam Pearce or Nick Aldis, whoever it is that she goes to talk to. Sometimes it was a point of conjunction, or if that's the word, where there was just like, why are you doing this? We're supposed to talk about this. Damian Priest would always get into it with her, right? But then everything airs out, everything's fine. But Damian Priest, again, still having that Money in the Bank briefcase. There was even talks of what if, when they gave him his personalized one that said Senior Money in the Bank, what if, JD McDonough or Finn Balor swapped it out with just a blank piece of paper. So when he goes and cashes it in, it's not really the contract. They got it. And then they're going to be the ones that cash it in. But I don't know if it works out that way. It doesn't. That's not how it goes, right? But that wasn't the case. I honestly think that they're not going to pull the trigger yet on these guys breaking up just yet. There's rumors that Finn and Damian Priest were going to be on the road to colliding at WrestleMania. That didn't happen. When they defended their titles, the tag team titles, they lost them. And you're thinking, okay, Damian Priest does have something else, and that is the Money in the Bank. But is he going to cash it in at WrestleMania? He wasn't going to cash it in on Roman. That's for sure. But that's the reason why there's the World Heavyweight title, and that the World Heavyweight title is there for those who's not going to ascend to the, to the WWE title. Or in this case, the undisputed WWE Universal title. I hope that gets rectified and that they retire the Universal Championship and then they just have the WWE title. Knowing Cody, how old school he is, remember what he did with the Intercontinental title? Back in the day, he brought it back to the original look, the original one. He might do that with this. But so far in past Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, there was been no hint. I thought they may have brought out a belt that's covered in cloth like they usually do and then unveil it. Maybe I thought Triple H was going to get, because when Triple H, welcomed Cody as the champion, I thought he was going to give him a new belt. Oh, hey, bring it out. Bring out the belt. or bring it out, guys, and then they bring it out. It might happen. Maybe before a big event, maybe before the next pay-per-view, maybe before SummerSlam, if Cody still has the championship, but I think he's going to have it for a long time. Why are they going to have Cody beat Roman, and then he's going to have only a 30-day, 40-day, 60-day, 6-month reign? Cody has been working for this his whole life. Why not give him a long-ass title reign? He deserves it. I've known this guy since he first debuted. Who'd have thought that he was going to be a world champion later on? He probably never thought he would be. But it's a new era. Triple H is the one in charge. So he's going to give the due to people that deserve it. And Cody deserves it. I don't give a fuck what anybody says that he's boring. I mean, boring. Cody ain't his dad. No one is Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes was entertainment and personality and charisma personified. I mean, everybody looks to him as the person that we're going to be like. I want to be like him. From the polka dot Dusty to his time in the territorial days, NWA, Georgia, wrestling, I mean all the places that he's been. He's the one who everybody looks up to. Don't put Cody in that position because he doesn't deserve it. He's his own person. But let's get back to Damian Priest. I love the match between Drew and Seth. Now Seth, of course, was nursing a bad knee, bad leg, bad back, everything, right? Especially because he was in that very, very physical match, that tag team match, him and Cody versus Rock and Roman. Now, people are saying, how is he going to be in any shape to defend his title the next night? He came, he saw, and he was looking to kick some ass, but Drew was very dominant. Drew really, really brought it at WrestleMania Night 2. Everybody knew that he was going to be winning the title, or that everybody felt that he was due. He never won in front of an audience. It was the whole pandemic era. Nothing but TV screens and him winning the championship in a dominant fashion. 5 minutes, was it, right? Over Brock Lesnar. But it never was satisfying to him as character and as Drew Galloway, the real Drew McIntyre. So, in the end, he wins the title in very dramatic fashion. I mean, he started out and he hit him with a Claymore already. Now Seth's not going to kick out at that point, but eventually, after a bunch of transitions and a bunch of trade-off of moves, offensive maneuvers and all that stuff, and then he ends up hitting him with a final Claymore and claims the title. You see the emotion. Even the commentators were all about it. So were the audience. I'm like going, but damn time. He's in front of the audience, in front of a big ass crowd, 70,000 plus? Right? Or was it 100,000 plus? However, because I know the 2-day total was 200,000, something like that, right? For the both nights. But he was able to do it. Then, instead of taking his ball and going home with it, or taking that belt, what does he do? He jaws away with CM Punk. Now, how could he not do that? He's been talking about Punk. Punk is like a thorn in his side, a bane of his existence, and he's like going over there and talking to him, and Punk's just like stands up, and Drew makes it personal, and Drew causes Punk to take his jacket off. He has his brace on, but apparently he's not, he is not in need of that brace no more, because he starts taking it off and he starts whipping Drew and starts beating him. I believe it started off, he was standing on the thing, right? And then Punk took his leg out from him and he fell down. And Drew, he took his leg out from under him. Drew hits the table, he falls off. And he takes off his thing and he starts whipping him with it. Starts beating him. All of a sudden we hear Judgment Day music. We hear Drew, come out. Damian Priest. And he's so adamant, he is so convinced, he's like convicted, like, I'm cashing this motherfucker in. I'm cashing it in. Gives it to the ref. It's a good thing Mike Chioda was there, because Mike Chioda would be like, what? What? Remember those days when he would do that? And it looks like the person that's cashing in going, would you cash it in, you dumb fuck? Like sometimes he would look, and then he explained it on an interview why he did that, and I still don't understand why he did it, because it's just like, it's self-explanatory there, Chioda. They want to cash it in. But the referee wasn't playing that game. He said, okay. And then you hear Samantha Irvin, who did an amazing job both nights. All you out there who want to be jealous and you want to just hate on her just to hate on her, she knows what the fuck she's doing. She is great. She's right up there with Lillian Garcia and Howard Finkel as one of the greatest ring announcers. You got to give it to her. This girl gives a character to every one of her ring announcings for every person. It's different. You know, you got some great. Mike Rome is a guy who's very passionate too. You hear him, but it's the same way. I think the other girl named Alicia, I believe, for NXT, same thing, same voice every time. Samantha Irvin is like, people want to say, oh, she's too emotional. Why is she getting so emotional? Gee, I don't know. She's a human being. And maybe she's happy for the people that win. Like with Cody, she was very emotional. You know? And other people too. But let's get back to Damian Priest. He comes in, right? He cashes in. Hits the south of heaven. Just like that. Ends a 5-minute reign of Drew McIntyre. He was able to soak it in, Drew did, in front of thousands and thousands of people and millions at home. All happy for him. But then when Damian Priest came in, I was like, let's see if it happens. And once he did, I wasn't surprised. I was happy. I was like, yes, finally, because now we can just get that Money in the Bank thing out of the picture, and now he's the World Heavyweight Champion. He goes up to the ramp, up to the stage, and in comes his, fellow Judgment Day cohorts, right? All hugs, all happiness all around. You look at Rhea and Damian, both in possession of the top prizes on Raw. Of course, Rhea Ripley successfully defended her title against Becky. Becky gave an amazing effort, but I believe she's going to be with Seth and go away, and Seth's going to nurse his injuries and make sure that everything's good. I think Becky was hurt. If she wasn't, I'm pretty sure she was. I mean, she needs to rest her body too. Everybody did. Everybody does, because everybody put out their 100% effort at WrestleMania. And it was a great WrestleMania, the biggest WrestleMania. I can agree. There's better WrestleManias, but this was a big one. A lot of those legends coming out to help Cody. That was a great. Seeing the camaraderie, the people that really love him and happy for him, surrounding being inside the ring and joining the Rhodes family. You have Randy, right? Of course. You have Sammy. You got KO and others there. It was a great night. Congratulations to Damian Priest. Now, who is Damian Priest going to face next? We'll just have to wait and see if he's going to defend that title at Backlash. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a champion's champion. He's going to fighting champion. He's going to be there every week. That's why it's so great that we have Cody as a champion, because he's going to be there every week. Heck, he was there on Monday and Friday, so he's going to be on both. And then of course the draft's coming up, so who knows if that's going to be when they give Cody the WWE Championship, and then the Universal title is retired. It should be. Like I said in my other video, that's McMahon's creation, and I believe he made it specifically for Roman, because he knew he had a plan. Roman's going to be a champion for a long time. And a long champion he was. He's fourth ranked now, behind Hogan, behind Bob Backlund, and behind Bruno Sammartino. That's a good company to be in. So why not? Roman's going to get his much-deserved rest. I don't know when he's going to come back. He might not come back till Royal Rumble next year. Who knows? I mean, what's really the plan for him? I mean, there are seeds being planted now for a possible bloodline versus bloodline, and that leads me into the other thing that I'm going to talk about, and that is the surprise debut of Tama Tonga. Not a surprise in the sense that we knew he was being signed, but we just didn't know when he was going to appear. He could have appeared at WrestleMania. He could have appeared on Monday night. But here he's on Friday night. A lot of weird vibes between Solo and the wise man, right? Paul Heyman. Congratulations to him on his induction into the Hall of Fame. An amazing speech. Really, really stuck it to McMahon without saying his name and giving praise to the man of the hour, the man of the new era, and that is Triple H, Paul Levesque. And I like how they pronounce his name now, Paul Triple H Levesque. Let's put his real name out there. That's who needs to be recognized, right? And I love when Paul Heyman said to Stephanie, because she was sporting the old school ECW hat, and she says that proves that you married the wrong Paul. And then you look at Stephanie, she's laughing, and then she looks at him and says, I love you. She mouths it, and I'm just like, amazing. It was so funny, and he was so great. I thought Undertaker's was the best speech till now, and then up until then, but then Paul gave us what he gave us, and he's the best speech of all time. Better than anybody, really, because it came from the heart. You can tell it was a script that he even said in an interview, or was it part of a segment, but he said that he doesn't know what to do because usually I follow a kind of a script or a pattern or a way of a thing, but I'm going to be myself and not be Paul Heyman, but be who I am. His kids were there, his daughter and his son, who you know that's going to follow in his footsteps. I'm pretty sure he even said, if you do, you know, you'll be good at it. You'll be successful. You know, I love that one shout out that he did to Haku when he goes, if anybody messes with you, talking to daughter, about 4 seats down is Haku, and Haku just laughs like he's just, you know, just loving what Paul's doing, and he's saying that I'm pretty sure he's going to protect her. He'll protect anybody who's, you know, part of the wrestling family. Now, speaking of families, with the Haku, let's talk about his son, Tama Tonga. A lot of people, especially podcasters that I follow, that, you know, want to say that, because some people were saying to this one guy, yeah, you know, well, Tama Tonga is not really a part of the Anoa'I family. You know, like why would he be a part of the bloodline? Just being curious, right? Just making conversation. And then this guy goes, well, you do know that wrestling's fake, right? I'm sick and tired when people say that shit. Especially this guy who claims to like not want to put that narrative out there, because yes, we do know, but not what they do in the ring, and not what they do, you know, performance wise and everything like that. They get hurt and all that stuff. We know that. But so dumb about this person is that he's like saying that, and then he goes, yeah, because, you know, what, is the Undertaker really a dead man? And Yokozuna, they presented him as a Japanese sumo, but he's really Samoan. I'm like going, that's not the point. The point of it is that they're just saying that Tama Tonga isn't a blood relative or related to the Anoa'I family. But here's the thing that I say, and it also goes hand in hand with personal experience. Just because you're not born, you know, a member of a family blood-wise, if they accept you into the family, I got relatives that are part of my family because of their grandmother and my grandmother were best friends. And so we accept them as cousins. We accept them as family. That's how it is with Tama Tonga, his dad, who in reality is his uncle. He adopted them, him and his brothers, Hikuleo and who's the other one? The one that played Camacho. His name is just, I saw his name earlier because I was just looking up stuff about the Anoa'I. And he played Camacho. I don't know why he played a Mexican gangbanger type style, but he was a Samoan. But, you know, they were adopted by, by Haku's wife and him. So he pretty much raised them from their kids into their adulthood, and that's pretty much his kids. And from far as I'm concerned, that they are his sons. You know, that's the thing about it. So he is a member of the Anoa'I family through the fact that The Rock accepts Haku as an uncle, and I'm sure the other people in Anoa'I, the Anoa'I family, they accept them as family. So they are part of the family. Have you ever, I don't know, had somebody adopted into your family and that person is your, as far as you're concerned, that's your brother, that's your sister. No matter if it's blood. The Rock ain't blood. Him and his grandfather and the Anoa'I grandfather had a blood pact. As far as I'm concerned, that's family. You know? I don't think that anybody in commentary or anything ever say that. They always just say that he's a cousin of Roman. He is that. You don't go, well, by blood pact. They brought that up. But it's like they don't say that, oh, they're not really family. It's just because of a blood pact that they became family. As far as I'm concerned, Rock is family for, what do you call it, for the Anoa'I family. And that's how I look at it. That's how everybody looks at it. You know. But the thing about it is that, also this other guy goes, it's like Naomi. Like when they were on that kick about that thing and he goes, yeah, they're even trying to push Naomi as a member of the Anoa'I family. She's not a member of their family. Hello, jackass. She got married into the family. She's married to Jimmy. That makes her a member of the family. So someone's married into the family. Oh, they're not a member of the family. But this is the same guy that months earlier said that, oh, Naomi is one of the members of the Anoa'I family. I go, are you doing that because your boy there, your partner on that podcast is saying that this and this and so you want to agree with him and not, rock the boat with your partner? You said that Naomi is a member of the family, and then you turn around and go, oh, she's not. They're trying to make her a member of the family. She ain't a member of the family, stupid motherfucker. Like, yes, she is. She got married into the family. That makes you family. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. Isn't that how it goes? My aunt, I have an aunt that's not, she married to my dad's brother, my uncle. She's not blood relative, but she's a relative because she married my uncle. Like, it's just plain and simple. Semantics. All these people want to play semantics and all that stuff. It's like, give me a break. Now, stupid, man. I'm sorry about screaming. Because it's kind of echoey. My room is still, I moved in like 3 months ago, so I'm trying to make it less echoey. I don't think it is, but I'm just seeing, I don't want to scare people off, but, let's go back to Tama Tonga. The man's 41. Been in the industry for a while, right? Been in TNA, been in ROH, been in New Japan, practically. I could be mistaking his brother being a TNA, a gut check winner and all that stuff. I think Tama has been in, if I'm not mistaken, in New Japan for a long time. At least, I believe 10 years. I believe it's been 10 years. But he's been there the bulk of his career. Even Bubba Dudley, Bully Ray said that congratulations for making the big time. I honestly thought that he was, because I mistook his younger brother for him. I thought he was Camacho, but he wasn't. It was his younger brother that played Camacho who was partners with Hunico. And then Hunico went on to be the second Sin Cara. Because the first Sin Cara was such a botch fest. They just said, get out of here. We'll give you your thing. That's Mystico. His name is Mystico. I've seen him on AEW recent months and years and stuff like that. He's doing this thing. I believe he's in CMLL or AAA. One of the Mexican promotions, doing well. So that's good on him. He comes from a legendary wrestling family too. So it's just like, let's give him his props. Like he didn't work out in WWE, but you always hear great things about him. And then he just didn't take to the WWE style, I guess so. But like I was saying with with Tama Tonga, okay, you see this different attitude in Solo Sikoa. The guy was always a silent assassin, would talk here and there, but he sure did talk a lot during SmackDown and in the backstage promos, the segments. You look at Paul Heyman and he has a look of, what's going on? Even later, when the whole aftermath of all that happened, he goes, pretty much, I'm paraphrasing, but he's pretty much going, what is going on here? Like he didn't realize. Even Tama Tonga tells him backstage, like in front of the thing, he goes, this is on orders from the tribal chief. Now, is he talking about Roman Reigns? Is he talking about The Rock? Or is he talking about Solo? Remember, Solo was deemed the heir apparent to the tribal chief. So maybe that because Roman left, he lost, and he lost that leadership aura about him and respect. That now Solo Sikoa is taking it upon himself to be the new tribal chief, and then he, recruits Tama Tonga, who, when Jimmy looked like he was going to get spiked, but then Solo Sikoa goes like this, arms out, hugs him, says, "I love you, brother. I love you." And you hear Jimmy go, "I love you too." And then when he goes away from him, he's holding him with his left hand, and his hand's out like this, and I thought he's going to spike him. Then he turns away, and then in comes somebody who's built like Jay, has that black hood like Jay does. But then he pulls it off, and you hear the reaction in the crowd. They know who this dude is. A lot of people know who Tama Tonga is, especially because his name's been brought up, because he's possibly signed with WWE, or he's signed with WWE. So people are looking at him more. They know who he is. They know how he looks like. I know who he looks like, and I don't even follow his career. He was in New Japan, but I've always heard of him. I've always seen that. I've seen little things here and there. I'm like, okay. And then, so he reveals himself to be, Tama Tonga, and then he's holding Jimmy back so that, Solo Sikoa hits him with some stiff, punctuating, making, Samoan spikes. I mean, he wasn't going straight. He was going down like this, like in a different angle. Maybe that's his way of making it really personal. But they take him out, put him in the corner, put a chair around his head, and then in comes Solo with a hip attack, which I know makes his late uncle Umaga look down and smile with pride, because he delivers those things just like his uncle did, even like his dad did, like Rikishi did too. But now he's a member of the Bloodline. It's just people are going to say Bloodline and then Bloodline Red, and I'm like, well, don't do that NWO thing, red and black, and then the original, But it's gonna be because what's gonna happen is that it's gonna be revealed probably that Roman didn't call for Tama to join. He didn't order that. He's cool with Jimmy. Why did you attack Jimmy, right? And I think that he's going to probably come back, and then probably he's going to be the one that facilitate a reunion between the brothers, Uso, Jimmy, and Jay. They're going to be hesitant at first, right? And then they're going to bring them together. And then Roman, people are saying that Jacob Fatu may join the side with Tama and whatever. But what if he joins the Usos? And then you got Zilla Fatu, the son of Umaga, coming, and he'll probably join, The Rock's bloodline. That's Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. It could go either way. Zilla can go to the other side. Who knows? Depends on who he's closer to, But since he's a younger brother, like he's a younger like that, so you might go with Solo. But those of you who don't know who Jacob Fatu is, check him out. The guy is probably, I don't know, he's just like, he has such intensity. He's such a vicious, character. Like, he just doesn't take shit from nobody when it comes to him performing in the ring. I've seen him in interviews, and he's like it looks like he's a sweetheart. He's like a really, really laid back, cool dude. But man, it's like one of those things where it's a light switch. Just flip it on, and he's just like how Umaga was, stuff like that, and how Yokozuna was, just vicious, right? But he's gonna be a game changer, just like Tama Tonga is, just like people are gonna look at him because he's 40, 41. It's too late. Some people reach their prime in their later years, and that's when they finally arrive. He's finally arrived in WWE, and however long they're gonna have him for 3, 4, 5 years. He's still going to be good. He's still going to be less, he's still going to be in his 40s. He's still going to be valuable. And, that's just how it is. That's how it should be. You know, that age shouldn't matter when it comes to that. If you can still go, look at Styles, look at even LA Knight. He's in his 40s, early 40s. I think he's 41, maybe. Maybe I think he's less than that, but he's close to that age. You know, Roman's get in there. You know, you got Sheamus, right? You got Ray. These guys are all like in their upper ages and stuff like that, and they're still going. Ray looks like just as good as he was when he was younger. I don't understand what happened his last run where it just didn't, nothing was going right. And I think he talked about how his head wasn't there and that he just had to go away and do some things first. I mean, it didn't help that what's the name of the wrestler, Pedro Aguayo, the Mexican wrestler that died when he did the 619, and unfortunately that person, he had a heart attack and passed away. So that's something that probably lingers in Ray's mind, but he's able to kind of push that away for a moment, But that's always going to bother him. That's really sad what happened. But yeah, I mean, it don't matter. It shouldn't matter, even with the women, that they're up there in age, and then Natalia's still going, and so is Nia Jax. She's close to that age too, in the 40s. I believe Natalia's like 40, maybe 41, 42, something like that. But they're still going, They're still going. They still want to do it, and why not? They're not 60, 70, 80 years old. They're not nowhere near that. They still got a lot of time to go in their careers. So a lot of time to prove some things, even though they've proven themselves. But they always want to be proving themselves. It's like those athletes who are in the twilight of their career and they still want to have things to prove. It's just like that. But from Damian Priest cashing in successfully, now the new World Heavyweight Champion, to Tama Tonga, now part of WWE and as part of the Bloodline. Where does The Rock fit in this? Is The Rock behind Solo Sikoa and all that, right? And then Roman's going to join the Usos together and they're going to have their thing. Where does Jacob Fatu fit in? If Zilla Fatu is coming, I haven't heard any news about him being signed, but I think they're probably going to eye him. And there's always these news, these thumbnails on YouTube and these news blurbs that says that he's ready, for the big time and all that stuff. And then these guys are getting endorsements, especially Jacob Fatu getting endorsements from, I believe it was from Booker T, and some of these guys that he's ready. I've seen some matches and I've seen him, and he's been long ready. He probably was ready as soon as he was born into this world, So I mean, and it would be great, to have, what do you call it, Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga as a tag team, because their fathers, Tama Tonga's Haku, and then what do you call it, Jacob Fatu is the Tonga Kid, is his father. If you remember them as the Islanders back in the day, who was managed by Bobby Heenan. Can you imagine that, the second coming of the Islanders? Those guys would be a vicious tag team. But then again, on opposite ends, it would be a great match to see both of them kind of come together and collide. Great. That would be a great, matchup. But maybe they're setting up for a Survivor Series. There's going to be a little bit of thing here where they're going to get into it. Roman might come back in a few months. Maybe he'll be back by SummerSlam. And then they're going to have like a tag team match between the Usos and, Solo and, what's his name? Tama Tonga. And then after that, during that match, you'll see a debut in Jacob Fatu. And maybe there's going to be a thing where he's going to be right in the middle and he doesn't know who to go to. Because that's his family. Who's he going to go to? Whose side is he going to go to? And then you're going to see a gradual build until Survivor Series. Right before then, you'll see the teams built and the teams gathered together. Like I said, you'll have the Usos, Roman, and say Jacob Fatu. And then on the other side, you'll see The Rock, Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and Zilla Fatu. There's another one. Their younger brother, Usos' younger brother, is also wrestling. He might come. You never know. Yes, they have another brother. Yes, they do. You know how these Samoan families are, especially the Anoa'I family. Man, they just pop out babies. So their generations, their involvement in pro wrestling is going to go on for hundreds and hundreds of years. That's just in their blood. You know what I mean? That's just in their blood, and we're better for it because we're always going to see an Anoa'I member in the wrestling ring. Doesn't matter what promotion or what organization, they'll be there. And I can't wait to see what happens with this storyline. It's going to be a great way to keep the Bloodline storyline going and making it fresh. I don't mind if they keep it going, but just don't stick with the regular thing that we've been seeing. They kind of put a little bit more of a twist on it by putting The Rock in there and stuff like that. And then now we got Tama Tonga in it. So it's just going to get better and better. That's all. That's what I think. And I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what happens on Raw tomorrow when it comes to what they're going to do. Because like I said in my last video, it's not the Raw after WrestleMania. So it's going to see if they keep the momentum going. Especially now that they're heading towards a draft. I believe the end of this month. Triple H said, right? Now, I don't think he said it on air. I think he said it in an interview or something like that. But I think they did mention it. So let's see what happens with that. And hopefully they do it in a better way. Not the way they've been doing it. Because it doesn't make sense. But I already went through that. So anyway, that's my video. Talking about the cash-in of Damian Priest and the debut and the joining of the Bloodline by Tama Tonga. And we may see his brother Hikuleo and see his other brothers, the brother come in and join. And like I said, I didn't even mention Hikuleo. He could easily join too. And if Zilla Fatu doesn't come in, he'll join his brother, because they've been joining at the hip pretty much when it comes to being in New Japan and being a part of the Bullet Club and being tag team champions. Kind of like I said, and it's this chemistry that works because they're brothers, and they're gonna probably bring him. They probably, I don't know if they'll be a tag team with them against the Usos probably for SummerSlam. Backlash is coming up. They might have something there because Tama Tonga's here now, so they might have Tama Tonga go against Jimmy Uso. You never know, right? But anyway, that's my video. So for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Please, if you like the video, click like. Please share the video and subscribe. And also hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. So until next time, take care, and I'll see you in my next video.